Welcome to this week's episode of, well, special edition mini episode of The Adventures of the Redbane Guild. And where we last left off our intrepid adventurers, we're atop a wide clearing hill in the midst of a ring of standing stones, wherein one in particular stood out. But before they could get to it, they heard a and a and saw, standing at the tree line, a unicorn, massive and shaggy and angry-eyed.
Angry eyes.
I'd
And
say it's a pretty good bet that this thing's going to attack us.
You think? I don't know where you get that idea.
I take a step back behind these two. You guys, if this thing attacks us, you guys.
it
attack
charges instantly. And
how far off is it?
it's about 100. It's about 150 feet, and you'll never guess what this thing's speed is. It it's more than that. It.
I back up behind them. Guys, you guys just attack it head on, and I'll try to sneak around behind it.
It charges you with just blinding speed. And it's a little bit out of the way. So the first one it comes after is Murwin. You are right in its path,
Of course.
with this horn just bearing down on you, and this deep growl inside its chest, and the thundering hooves on the ground, and it you see the horn coming right at your shield, and does a 16 hit.
Yes.
You get thumped by this thing. You are tossed back. Please succeed. Oh, no, you don't have to. You are knocked back 10 feet, but you remain steadfast and are not knocked prone. But you take 9 piercing damage as you slide back 10 feet away, and that horn did some mighty awful ouchies to you. And now the thing just rears back, and now roll initiative.
Hey, there we go.
12.
10.
10.
12, 10, 10, and 3. Okay. Sorry, who rolled the 12?
Mirwin.
That was me.
Okay, Mirwin, you are the first one to react after, even after taking this blow. You are up again. What do? You're about 10 feet away from the unicorn still, where it knocked you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Can I run up and hit it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can.
You have like 20
Okay.
good movement.
Yes, you're within.
26. It was a natural 20.
Ooh, so you, with vengeance in your little eyes, you come back and up, and you carve a cash into the unicorn's side and roll damage.
Mr. Off now, unicorn.
9.
9. Okay.
Is that doubling the?
What's your hit die? That's a D8. Double the.
Mhm.
So that what's double 9? 18.
18, yeah.
So
But
you roll 18.
Was that max damage?
It was 6. So 12,
6, 12.
15.
15. Okay, so you would cleave this thing for 15 damage on your first strike.
And then I tried to hit it again. It was an 11.
And 11 does not hit. So the first one you you slash and it goes and sits and just dodges back a little bit. And the second one you can't make. Bew's turn.
I would like to. How far away is it from me?
You were pretty closely packed together when it hit. So you are now you're within 10 feet of it.
Okay. I'd like to flank it with Mirwin.
Okay. So you head around its backside.
So that I am flanking the beast, which means that I have advantage to my attacks.
Yes.
I'm going to do my attacks one at a time to see how it goes.
Yeah. Make it easier for us.
Yeah. 18.
An 18 hits. Roll damage.
Taking notes. Thank you. That will be 6 damage.
Okay.
And then my second main attack will be 17.
A 17 hits.
Okay. Taking
So
notes.
you get right up on this unicorn and start to just pound.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't rolling those with
Fearlessly.
advantage.
Indeed, roll it. Go ahead and roll advantage.
First one isn't a natural 20. Second one is also not a natural 20.
Okay.
The second
continue.
attack is 9 points of damage, max damage. And then I'm going to spend a key point to do stunning strike. So he needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
What's the DC?
13.
He saved.
Dang it. Okay. Then I'm going to spend another key point to do. No, I'm just going to do a third attack as my bonus action, which would bring me to 18.
18 hits.
9 points of damage again.
Whew. And you hit around the back and light it up with unarmed strikes with your gauntlets. Very effectively, and you hear it's just. And Warth, it is your turn.
I want
You get sneak
to.
attack.
Well, yeah, but I want to back away from this thing and pull out my crossbow.
Okay.
And so if I'm behind them, I want to back away and pull off to the side some.
You were not behind him. Where you were was behind Mirwin, and she got knocked. So you're about map. Should have done a map. So the unicorn is currently facing Mirwin. He views around its back, and its horn is in the direction of you.
Okay, I would
But
like to back. What?
Yeah, you can back a few paces up.
I would like to back up a ways, and then I would like to shoot it with my crossbow. I
Sorry.
fire.
Okay, fire. Go ahead, fire.
Oh, I start blasting. Natural 20.
Oh, well, you hit it.
Oh!
And then I fire, and the damage is
So 7 plus 3d6.
9.
Is that what you rolled on the 3d6?
Yeah, that's just the 3d6 plus the
Okay.
7.
Perfect.
16.
Good job.
So you guys have come out with a show of force, and you land right into the unicorn's side, and it only looks like it's angrier, and it
Oh, no.
you hear it just rears up, and from its deep in its chest, you hear this. And I need everyone to make a DC con save.
Right.
Oh,
I rolled a 5.
Natural 1.
13.
All three of you you hear this cry, this thing that thunders through your bones, and you shrink in terror of it, and you all gain the frightened condition. So that means you gain disadvantage on all attack rolls, and you cannot move willingly towards your target. At the beginning of your next turn, you will be able to make a con save to get rid of the condition. Additionally, it slams down with its hooves at Mirwin, and he rolls a natural 20,
Oh!
which means you take 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, you take 14 bludgeoning damage as he right down on you.
Ouch.
And we're back to top of initiative. It's you, Mirwin. You're engaged with it. Still right. It's just punked you. What do you do? Remember now, you will if you attack, you have disadvantage on your rolls because you're the terror in your heart is just barely restraining you from running
I rolled
away.
twice. Okay.
But I am flanking her, so she averages out to just a straight roll.
Is that how that works? I assume it does.
Nice.
All right, so
Yeah.
no disadvantage. There you go.
Where's the natural one?
With that, you with that one, you I would like to knock you prone. You know what? You fall prone. You aren't knocked prone, but you
Just,
like
I just fall.
you just fall over.
This is not going well.
Thunk.
She can at least. Well, that was just her first attack.
Yeah, that was my first attack. I'm just gonna jump up.
Yeah, so you can jump up. Make
Can I
another
swing
one.
again or not?
Yeah.
Did you see it? It was a 19.
Okay.
I closed it.
You roll a 19. This time, you are able to make a successful slash at its leg. Go ahead and roll damage.
4.
Very good. Worth.
There's the one.
I want to get behind. Can I get behind one of those stones?
They are very far from you still. That's probably 40-ish feet away. Except for the very central one, which is probably about 20 feet from you.
Which would make it how far from the unicorn?
Unicorn.
About 25 feet.
Okay, I want to do that.
All right, you dash to
A dash
the
to that.
central stone, that one that's the central standing stone.
And now I shoot at the unicorn.
Yes.
Look, you're about to stop me.
But you won't get advantage because you are frightened and cannot move toward the unicorn. You're not moving toward the unicorn. You're moving like around it. But you won't get advantage because of the disadvantage. But since
What about the sneak attack? Because he's engaging the other two people.
you would get the damage, but not the advantage on the roll.
Okay.
So it's just a straight roll.
11.
11 misses you. Squeeze off a bolt, and it goes flying, sailing off into the distance over the unicorn.
That's all I can do with this. My turn. That's the end of my turn, I guess.
And it is then.
Can Mirwin and Worth try to break the frightened?
Oh yeah, since I'm
Oh, yeah,
behind, I got behind the stone,
Oh.
out of line of sight.
Yeah, make a Constitution save.
Mine's a 24.
Mine's a 14.
Mirwin, you successfully banished the fear from your heart. However, Worth, you are quaking in your boots over there still with.
What about
It's
Worth is
Bu's
gonna
turn.
have like PTSD from unicorns now.
Unicorns, I hate them.
All
Anyway,
right, Bu, go ahead.
She's gonna go back to Tinkerbell and be like, horsey unicorn.
All right, do this attack by attack for me so we can break it down.
Just single rolls without advantage, disadvantage.
Single rolls, yep.
14.
Does not hit.
Okay.
That's
Second
a
attack
with.
is a natural 1.
That one, yeah. You miss. Go ahead and roll your third one.
I'm gonna spend a key point to do flurry of blows, which is going to be a 24.
That one hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Which is going to be 4 damage, and I want to use the flurry of blows aspect that it needs to make a dex save or be knocked prone.
What's the DC on that dex save?
It is 13.
And it does save. 19.
Dang it. Okay, and then my second attack, or my second flurry of blows attack, which is going to be a 20, not natural.
And that hits. Go ahead, roll damage for me. You land another leaping.
Which is going to be
punch.
6. Whenever you hit the creature with one of your attacks granted by your flurry of blows. So I'd like to try that again.
Okay.
I'd like to try it again. I'd like to punch it in the flank and make it fall down.
And the save is 14.
Dang it. Okay, fine.
So you get that punch, but it's just so sturdy, you can't quite knock it over. And now the unicorn, it spins wildly.
I'd like to make a
yeah,
Constitution save, please.
make that save.
7. No.
7. No, you're doing your best, but you're still you're fighting unicorn, and you're very well aware of it, and it is terrifying. And it's rears up on its back hooves and brings its front ones to bear at you, Bu. And does an 11 hit?
11 does not hit.
You just duck out of the way as its hooves thud into the ground beside you, where it would have just crushed your skull. But then you see its horn swing back towards you, and
multi-attack.
does a 16 hit?
A 16 does hit.
This horn takes you in the chest and just barely misses goring you completely through. And you take 13 slashing damage.
Okay. Buddy, can you remind me how much damage I did on my first hit?
How much damage you did?
Mm-hmm.
On this last one?
On the one previous. I did 6 damage and I did something else.
Was it 4?
Yes, it was.
I've got a 4 marked down here. Yeah, it was 4.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so 13 slashing damage is what it smacks on you, and you continue with the frightened condition, and we're back to Mirwin.
I'm going to enter a rage because I should have done it sooner.
Ah, there you go, you barbarian,
Oh.
you barbarian.
I kept wondering, but I thought it had something to do with the shield. Like she couldn't.
No, it's because I'm dumb. All these new things confused me. The first hit was a 14.
Okay, that does not hit. So you go wide with the axe,
And the second was a 21.
and that hits. Roll damage. And the barbarians, that the damage is what now with rage on?
It's +2 damage.
Barbarian rage.
All right, roll me that dice.
So 9, 10, 11.
11, nice.
And then I'm resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. So that's
Nice.
half, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing. Oh, that's so metal.
Should have done it earlier.
Glad you didn't do it when you were fighting Warth.
That was for fun.
She didn't want to own you that bad. That's
I didn't want to
metal.
make you feel bad.
Let's say yeah. All right, Warith.
War.
All right, I will fire another thingy. Ooh, 25.
That hits. Give me some damage.
5. But that would be. So it'd be 7 again, right?
Yeah.
And that's a 16 plus 7.
So give me a grand total of damage.
23.
23.
Look at how many points of damage we've done. If my math is right.
Lots. Yeah, you
Warth
you
just
stick
did
it again.
more damage in his turn than we did last turn. Like the whole round.
And it looks like it bites into something perhaps vital because he and stumbles a little bit. And it's Bue's turn.
Is it really?
Tis. Oh, you want to make that con save to see if you escape frightened?
Oh, yes. Oh, him or me, or both.
You. Or both, technically. Well, you.
Not until
Or-
the end of my turn.
4. No, you're still shaking in your boots. But you're doing good despite that. You're doing real good. And now it's Bue's turn.
Just your feet are shaking and your arms are.
Get the steadiest hands in the business.
Good
Two
set.
punch with me. 2 punch with me. 11 and 19.
The 11 it misses you, but the 19 you land it with a solid kick. Give me a damage roll.
That would be 7 points of damage. And I would like to use a key point to do stunning strike.
Okay. How many key points you got left?
2 after this one.
Oh, yeah, you got lots of them now.
I got 5 of them.
Okay,
Wow.
stunning
I've
strike.
been-
That is the DC what save now?
13.
Con save?
Oh
Dex.
yes, I'm sorry. It is con save.
Oops.
His
14.
con's probably high.
By 1 again.
Ah!
He just can't get that through. Okay, yeah, you get the hit, but again, his mass he rolls into you and does not take that.
Okay, real quick. Does it look like it's about to attack me again? Is that something that I can like glean right now or no?
Do a perception roll with disadvantage.
perception. That would be like 3, 4.
You can't tell. You don't know what it's going to do. It's wild and unpredictable. And roll the con save to break your frightened condition.
Cool. I still have my bonus action. I haven't used that yet.
Oh, okay. Well, do that. Then do that first, and then roll the con save.
Do I try stunning strike again, or do I patient defense? Oh, I have so much HP. I'm gonna punch it and then do a stunning strike again.
Okay.
Using another key point. So that would be 24.
Hits.
And I need it to make a con save because I'm doing a stunning strike.
All right. Here goes.
Please, 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 please.
5. You got it. So what hit
Yes!
is knocked prone?
It is stunned, which means
Ooh.
until the end of until the beginning of my next turn, it can't make any actions, reactions, or movement. So everybody has advantage on hitting it. Warith, you have advantage on hitting it. Murin, you already have advantage on hitting it because you are flanked with me. And you are raging, which gives you crazy stuff anyways. So anyways, awesome. And now I'm going to make my con save.
All right.
Boom. Natural 20.
Nice. All right. You are invigorated by your mighty strike of the unicorn and putting it down under your mighty foot. And you're no longer frightened. In fact, you're feeling bolstered, and all of you guys are, and that lifts. With that roll, it lifts Warith's condition.
You!
He sees you, and
Nice.
filled with triumph, he raises his fist and calls out in joy for his friend's action. And it's back. The unicorn can do nothing, and it is Murwin who is up.
Woohoo! Gonna hit.
Roll with advantage on all that you do because you are A, flanked with me, and B, this thing is stunned. Just punch it so hard.
Do it twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do
And
it
take the higher
one,
result.
or does it matter?
With the higher one.
24 for the first one.
That hits.
Going for natural 20s. We're farming natural 20s at this point.
And the damage for the first one was 12.
Including barbarian damage?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Roll second attack.
The second was 25.
Hits.
Oh.
And
Pull it
7.
off.
This thing is bloodied. You strike it twice, 2 axe blows,
Oh,
and
just now it's bloodied?
it is. I actually don't know what bloodied means. It's.
Half.
Oh no, it's more. I don't. I didn't know that's what that meant. It's bleeding, and it's just barely holding it together. And it's Warith's turn.
So I get advantage, right? So I roll. The first roll was 10. The second roll was an 18.
That hits. Roll damage.
That's an. Ooh, I rolled an 8, so double the damage.
Right between the eyes. How do you do this?
I carefully take aim. Thinking of all the pain it's caused me and my team, I fire him, let loose my arrow, and it strikes him between the eyes, and his head rocks back with the force of the bolt, and it drops immediately to the ground.
Whew.
Limp.
Ah,
Oh, balls.
wow. Well, that was both fun and enlightening.
Yes.
What was the
You
unicorn's
guys,
hit points?
125.
I could. Oh, I was gonna say I could tell you. In the first round, we did 55 points of damage. In the second round, we only did 14 points of damage. Third round was 41, and then the final round was 12, 7, and then 8 points of damage.
So I was trying to keep track of the total. I was at 123, but I wasn't sure if I had done it right.
It was a beast, but
That was
this
before.
has taught me a lot about the next thing you guys have to fight,
No.
which I wasn't,
Wicked high.
which I wasn't. I haven't finished statting on purpose. Until,
Oh boy.
Unicorn.
just
See,
to see how this went.
Well, I
Good
guess it
job,
doesn't matter
guys.
anymore.
Good job. Good encounter. So now you're out of initiative, and you.
I want to loot the body.
What do you do?
Does anybody have a
I
sock?
search
We
his
should
rump
chop
sack
off
for
the-
gold pieces.
You, you find no gold pieces upon it.
I say, hey, Mirwin, can I borrow your axe real quick?
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna chop his horn off.
Okay.
As a GM, I think I'm obligated to say, are you sure you want to do that?
I think about it. I look at the thing and I'm like, you know what? I don't know what the heck this crap is. I don't want to touch it. Here you go, Mirwin. And I hand the axe back and take a step back.
Okay.
I wanna look at it.
I want to
What
look
is
at
the
it too.
horn
I want to
made
figure
of?
out why that's a bad idea.
Is the horn made of face steel?
Mirwin, with your keen mind feat, I'll allow you to roll an insight check.
Ooh. Three.
Yeah, you get a feeling that you think about the Firbolg for a second, and then you're like, huh.
Oh.
I forgot
Um,
about them.
I don't think of any reason why I shouldn't like cut this horn off right here and now. But but something echoes in your mind, and you're like, I don't know. You're not sure if you should mention it or not.
I've already decided not to do it, so it doesn't.
I'm gonna dig around in my bag, and then I pull out a shovel, and I'm like, anybody know what this shovel is for?
Oh yeah, we gotta bury everything. Dang it.
Ah.
We gotta have to bury the bones.
I whisper to Warth. Warth, we should dig like a 6-foot hole where spying eyes can't see, and then we chop the horn off, and then we like put it in the bag or something.
You can do that if you want. I'm too scared of the furball. Especially Kennewick, who said he would kill us if we.
No, that was if we went back to the village.
I'm sure that applies to
that.
any breaking of their rules. So.
God, Kennewick's
Oh boy.
a bastard, isn't he?
He's,
Also the horn's
nonsense.
like 5 feet long and weighs a whole lot. just so.
I could totally like
Chop.
get some meat out of it and be like, yeah, I'm eating unicorn. Yeah, I want to butcher it.
They did not say you couldn't butcher it, so you can. The specification was return the bones to the ground. So, yeah, go ahead and roll a survival check to see how well you do getting a couple of cuts out of this thing.
All right. Survival. There it is.
Thank you, God, for helping
Ooh,
us
we're
not
rolling-
commit a grave
I
sin.
rolled a 19.
You get a couple of really good, thick, nice sized steaks from a good part of the muscle undamaged, and you are able to package them up and take them along.
I want to take the hide too.
Yeah. Do you know how to skin a unicorn?
Well, I gained some experience from skinning that deer.
True.
I'm getting there then. Sure.
And you saw Vissa
Yes,
skin a wolf.
Yeah. All right. Another survival check to get a pelt off of this thing.
Would that be considered animal handling?
I don't think so.
I think the animal has to be alive for that to be the case.
And I rolled an 8.
You try to get the pelt off of it, but it comes off kind of gross and dangly, and maybe you could scrape it off and tan it, but it wouldn't like look good.
I'll keep it anyway. And I want to
All right.
scrape the stuff off. And I turned to my compatriots and like, "Are you guys good at this kind of thing? You want to try to clean this up? Like, can you scrape it off?"
No.
No.
I think that is your bag, baby. And
I got a 20. Not natural.
I don't know how the
Survival check?
Furbolgs think of skinning the animal, honestly.
I'll take the risk because they only said bury the bones and we could use the rest of it. And I'm using it as a hide or skin or whatever.
Yeah, it seems like a technicality, but fair enough.
All right. So you're
Not like
able
we're
to get
gonna
the
get out
skunk
of this
off
vault alive anyway. So
and roll it
Yeah,
up.
we are
and-
going to die in the vault.
Okay, yeah, I put it in my backpack.
Okay. You have some unicorn steak and unicorn hide with you, and what do you do next? It's
and we buried the bones.
Oh yes, let's bury the bones.
you spend the rest of the day doing that easily. So now you must spend the night and making it what date exactly now, Mirren, please?
It
What
will
is
be
that?
the 12th of
The 12th of Hearthfen. Okay.
Yeah, thanks. I don't need to be stressed out even more, Miran. Thank you.
You're welcome. Which should make it what day of the week?
I don't know. The only day of the week I ever remember hearing him say is Mers Day.
Uno
Thursday,
momento. I have it written down.
Day, Friday, Thursday. I don't actually have the order of them memorized, and I wrote it, so
It is Anday.
it is Anday, the 12th of 12th of Hearthfen.
Hearthfen.
And I'll attempt to keep the calendar going. All right, that is the morning of Anday, the 12th of Hearthfen. And you have made camp around this central standing stone after you buried the body of the keeper of the the guardian of the entrance to the vault. And as if you pull up that picture, you will see the one that I sent last week, the central standing stone.
Mm-hmm.
You will see again what that looks like.
Mhm.
And that is standing about 7 feet high. What do you do?
I walk
Waking
up
up
to it and
as
examine
wake
it.
So you see this, it looks to be pretty plain stone, except for those kind of runners up and down it, those fullers. They're a little bit darker stone inside. And then those two concentric circles. The outside one is larger with the same dark stone, and the inside one is different. There's a gap in between the stone and that and the inside, almost as if something is meant to fit into it.
Bew. This might be the time to insert your key. Your circular key.
You think so? I was looking at the fullers here in the stonework, and I was thinking that the unicorn horn actually could fit in that pretty well. But the key works too. Yeah, I'll take the key from my bag, and I didn't hear what you said.
Didn't say
I didn't
anything.
It looked like you said something.
Oh no. So you take that heavy key that she gave you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with it?
I look at my party mates, and I reach up and I put it in the hole.
You put it in the hole and it slunks into it, and then the ground around you starts to rumble just a bit, and then and you get the strangest sensation as the piece of ground you're standing on for about 5 feet around begins to sink into the ground, including the pedestal. And above, all around you, the ground rises, and you descend into this darkness all about you, in this, and above the point of light gets ever smaller until there is a thud, and you're in near darkness, and you hear just a faint sound of water and echoes as if you're in a massive area of some sort. And then a few seconds later, and light ahead of you. There you see breezes of fire erupt into bright light, illuminating an immense square hall-like area where there are several pillars you see running from at least 100 or so feet from the ground to the ceiling. And as you begin to make out your surroundings, as your eyes begin to adjust, you see that you, in this massive chamber, where you are, this small circle of grass and stone that you stood upon, about 5 feet, and the pedestal, well, it now connects to another path that is right in front of you. Again, about 5 feet wide, and it's just a stone walkway. And on each side, all along around you on the ground, is water, very shallow water. What do you do? You can't. You're still kind of making out what's going on, but you can see immediately. You can see this path immediately ahead of you.
I take my lantern out and light it.
Yes, you light it, and you see
Morris,
this.
put that away. That is messing with all of our dark vision.
No, it makes dark light dim light.
Okay, fine.
Makes dim light bright light.
Shall we follow the path then?
Yeah, I suppose. Looking around for like traps.
You don't see any traps right where you are. It's pretty obvious that it's not trapped or anything. The walls are about 10 feet to each of your sides, and the ceiling is unseeable. But ahead of you, you see the walls go, and then they open up into that wide chamber that you saw. So you advance a few feet,
and then the traps go off.
And basically, the layout of what you see before you is this: in the floor ahead is this immense stone circular formation. That's the path that you're on, and it looks like there's this kind of carven shape in it. To each side, you see a huge brazier of fire and a statue. The statues are at least 100 feet high. It is of a cloaked figure. His hood's drawn back. It has a staff in its hand, and its face is unlike any sort of race you've seen before. It's got an angular face. Its ears are somewhat swept back. It has hair, but it's tied back.
Does it look like the totems?
Boom! I was about to ask the same question.
It looks a bit reminiscent. It looks a bit reminiscent of the totems.
Mirwin, you and your impeccable memory, does this look like the totems?
It does. It looks just like the totems, except
so these are
not
yeah.
Weathered.
Weathered, yes.
You hear a noise behind you, and when you look about, you see that the stone has ejected the key, and
Yeah.
it's standing, and it's kind of just waiting there for you
We
to
should
grab it
take
again.
that with us.
Probably a good idea.
It's like ejected it out the other side.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll trot back up and grab it and pull it out.
Yeah, you take it back with you, and you approach this just gargantuan circle in the floor, and all about in this whole huge square chamber, there's water on the floor, and it looks to be very shallow, but it's all about. But the walls of this thing are maybe a few feet high. The water doesn't reach over it or anything, but your path, I drew this kind of poorly. The path I meant it to, there's some basically it and it terminates in some stairs that go down toward that pit, but don't go into it. But what you see as you approach it, you see in the floor, in the stone of the floor, there you see a faint light, and there is another circle, exactly the same size as the one on the first standing stone. So that's where you are, standing in this immense chamber.
Well, I see no other option other than to put the key in again.
Yeah, I suppose so. I'll walk over to the other keyhole
Yeah,
and
so
insert.
it's right in front of you in the ground, about 10 feet away from the lip of this hole, and the hole accepts the key, and then you hear another rumble, and this one even deeper and lower, and you see dust kind of into the air as this door, as it turns out to be, begins to separate into two, and revealing beneath it an immense passage of complete darkness until that hole that you saw before covered is now an immense, almost borehole, a chasm into the planet.
Mm.
And what you
Are there
glimpse,
any?
and what you glimpse at the end of your walkway is that slight stairway, and it joins a stairway that was hidden just beneath the surface of the door, and you see that it heads downwards.
Are there
It's,
any loose stones around?
There, make an investigation check.
8.
I got it, 12.
You both you guys kind of root around for stones a little bit. You stick your hand in the water, and you pull up a decent sized stone.
I cast it into the pit.
It goes into the pit and straight down in. You didn't make it so it hit any of the walls or anything, and it's dead quiet. You listen, and you hear absolutely nothing.
knew it.
Nothing at all. No
Um,
sound reaches your ears.
do we have any torches?
You
I
wait.
have torches.
Hmm?
What?
How many torches do you have? What?
I have 9 torches.
Okay.
Can I have one,
Um,
please?
I would like. Can I also have one? I would like to light it and drop it down the hole.
You don't have any?
Oh, Worth, no, I was going to do the same thing.
I asked first. You got to throw the rock.
Don't worry,
How about
we
we throw
can
one, not both?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
You got to throw the rock. It's my turn.
well, maybe I'm just the thrower of things, yeah? I do all the throwing into pits. That is
While
my
he's
official
talking,
role.
I light it
You
with my tinder
get
box
to do
and
cool
drop
stuff
it down
like
the hole.
you get to do cool stuff like kill unicorns, but maybe I just get to throw things, you know? Oh, there
The
you go.
torch
Right.
plummets while you're talking. You look and you see this bright light. It illuminates. It illuminates barely the walls for an instant or so, and it falls and falls, and it winks out like a match, as if consumed by the darkness.
Like it didn't land in water down there and get put out. It just looks like it.
You couldn't tell. You didn't hear a splash or anything,
It
and
just disappears.
you certainly didn't hear anything from the rock. It's just like it just went out.
I pat Worth on the back hard in the direction of it, like, well, Worth, let's go. Almost to make him freak out, like going down the pit would be like he's gonna fall.
Worth is quite acrobatic, so he's fine.
Are you gonna go first down the rickety staircase?
I look at Mirwin and I hand her the lantern.
Oh, come on, I will go first.
I can't hold the lantern. I'm already holding a shield and an axe. You
He
go
takes
first.
the lantern and then hands it back to Worth and goes down the stairway.
You could put the shield on your back. But she wants to make excuses though.
Shush. Shush.
Into
so
the breach.
so what you see before you then is you descend this staircase, and the stairs that go down are carven stone stairs, only about 4 feet wide, but they're completely stone, and you don't see any obvious. I mean, they're very old, apparently. I mean, obviously, but you don't see any crumbling or cracking stones. But it goes down as far as you can see, which is not very far.
You're
They
playing
don't
with the
go
dice
down
here.
very far. Sorry.
You can't see very far.
Even with our light, with our lantern,
Even with your lantern, you see,
and dark vision.
and your dark vision, you still see about what is the dark vision, 60 feet or so in front of you.
I remove the bow staff from my back, and like an old man with a walking stick, I test out every stair before I step down.
Very good. Yeah,
Nice.
that's a good idea. So are you taking point then?
Oh yeah.
All right. So Bu takes point, heads down first, taps each stone with this walking stick. You march on for a good deal of time, an hour, 2 hours, and at this point, time begins to slip from you guys, except for Mirwin. You two begin to lose the ability to tell what time of day it is. You entered here at a little after noon, but you aren't sure how long you've been down there, except for Mirwin, who knows that it's 3:30.
Wow, it seems like we've been down here for 5 minutes or maybe 5 days. I don't know.
Been in here 3.5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It is it's a
I
care.
swear we've been down here for 4 days.
So it's a slog, a slow and frightening slog. A couple of times you do hit a stone that fell away, and good on you for thinking of that, because I was gonna have you make some saving throws otherwise.
Yay! High five.
So clever thinking. Very nice. You do ward off a couple of close calls, which you guys are able to skirt around, and it takes hours, and it reaches about 10 at night before Mirwin says anything, and it's a slow going at some points because the staircase isn't 100% consistent in how wide it is. Sometimes it's really uncomfortably thin, and you almost have to sidle through it. and you go slow. So at about 10 at night, um, you're getting pretty exhausted.
What would happen if we just slept here for the night on the stairs? I have climbing equipment, so we could use the pitons to hammer into the walls. We have rope. We could tie ourselves off and sleep on the
sorry.
stairs.
What exactly did you just say?
Pitons, pitons, whatever you want to call them.
in my culture, we call them pythons.
I've always heard them called pitons.
But I guess if you come from a strange land that calls them pitons, then we will use that translation for you. I will call them pittons, as per my people.
Okay.
This is the great scholar YouTube. No.
This is what I'm talking
Nothing's
about. But basically at this point, what you see around you is
Piton.
It says piton.
Piton.
That sounds wildly accurate.
So what you see at this point basically is you're up against the wall of an incomprehensibly huge stone cylinder. Looking up, you can still see a point of light where you came from, but down here it's only illuminated by your torches. The walls are in some places smooth, in some places cracked. You have seen as deep as, especially as you get deeper, starting to see vines growing out of it in places, almost splitting out, and there are some fungi and growing on out of the walls and on the stairs and on the sides of the stairs. That's what the kind of flora you're beginning to observe as you get deeper down.
Does Bew, with his knowledge of nature, have any chance of knowing anything about the Underdark?
Not
Is that where we're going?
No.
It's just Ian's theory.
Oh, no, we're not going to the Underdark. It's not too dissimilar from the Underdark, but that's just kind of what you're going to see. But go ahead and roll survival anyways. See if you can get anything from the nature of these things. On the nature of these things.
14.
What you're seeing on the walls currently, from your knowledge, looks to be non-lethal, non-toxic lichen, kind of crawling lichen and vine. What you see is pretty benign, to your knowledge.
Mira, when you're used to caves and darkness, right?
Uh-huh.
Does any of this look dangerous to you?
If you want to check around, roll survival as well.
No, I don't think this is dangerous. Well, she's
10.
10.
I also thought I had.
Oh, you ain't good enough.
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
thought I had something else.
the flora here is much different from those in the mountains from whence you come. But again, you can't really discern any threat from it, or if it's poisonous or good for food, you really can't tell either way.
I rolled a 1.
And Warth, you're like,
as a city boy.
you're just too privileged to know what any of this means.
I think these things are alive. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's green and
Yeah.
squishy.
I'd like to grasp a vine that looks like it's rooted in the wall pretty well, and I'd like to test it to see if this would make a good hold to tie ourselves off so we could rest for the night.
Ah, yes, very good. You find one pretty close by. It's a little bit
Oh, it's
above
the
your
one I was
head. It's it's a dull red vine, and go pull on it and give me a strength check.
Natural one.
You pull on
That's
it
some Warth
real
level
hard.
strength there.
You pull on it real hard, and you're like, "Yeah, this seems solid."
Yeah. If we are to tie off, I think we should tie off here. This is a solid vine.
So I have this thing called stone cunning.
What is that? Color me
Just
intrigued.
a second. Stupid. Go away. When you make an intelligence history check related to the origin of stonework, you're considered proficient in the history skill and add double your proficiency bonus to the check.
Oh, interesting.
So if you want to examine the stonework hereabouts, you may do that with an investigation roll, with all of that plus stuff.
Mm.
Double your proficiency. Would be a 6. That's still not very good.
So examining the stonework hereabouts, some of it looks not too dissimilar from dwarven architecture. Some of it is quite different, but you can't tell like what culture or civilization made it. You can tell that it's very old.
Okay.
So you guys
Except
gonna
very old.
bed down here for the night?
Yes, but I am not going to use this vine. I'm going to use my pitons and hammer into the walls.
You are able to do that. Go. You hammer the pitons into the walls while Bu anchors off onto that. And
Of course, what could go wrong?
are you guys gonna set a watch or anything at all? Do you feel the need to do that?
It's
I
pretty
will
dark and
sleep.
scary down here.
I will sleep for
Have
4
a-
hours, and then I will wake one of you up when I have gotten my full rest.
All right, Bu. You take first watch. You hear some sounds that sound to you like bats.
I'd like to take a torch from everyone's pack and light it and go.
It doesn't seem like the bats are anywhere close to you because they you don't see or hear any affected by the torch.
You feels good anyways.
Okay, that's good. Well, the rest of your watch passes with no incident.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I'll wake up Warith. Warith. Walrus.
There's a time.
Yeah. I have watched for 6 hours, and now let me sleep for 4.
All right. So I take out my crossbow, and I sit it on my lap and my back up against the wall, and that's how I will take it for my watch.
Okay. And your watch passes by completely uneventfully.
Oh,
You don't
unfortunately.
really see or hear anything interesting at all. And now it's
So
you've passed your hours, and though you can't tell it's morning, you know that your time is up. And Mira, when you wake, because you know it's morning, your body knows that it's morning.
It's morning. Get up. Let's go.
god awful morning, people.
Morning.
Is it? I thought I had another 6 hours to sleep.
I watch for 6 hours. You need 8 hours to do a long rest. So that means that you do a watch for 2 hours. Mirwin does a watch for 2 hours, allowing me to sleep for 4.
Okay, then Mirwin's. This is your watch for the last couple hours, and
Okay.
your watch additionally passes uneventfully.
Well then.
And then I say, it's morning, time to get up. Let's go.
Is that what Miriam would sound like?
Mm, in the morning, yes.
In the morning in the caves, she's in her element.
Yeah. This is just like home.
Okay. I munch on some rations and
Yeah, you munch your rations and
Look at Mix.
uncomfortably stare into the void. And whenever you guys decide to continue on,
let's continue on.
Same thing as yesterday. Yeah, Worth, do you want stone tapping duty with the stuff?
I suppose I'll take a turn. That's only fair.
I mean, I don't have to give turns if you don't want to, but it was so much fun yesterday. If you wanted to give it a try today,
Fine, I'll do it.
so Worth takes the tap tap tap, and after about a couple of hours, you see something ahead in your torchlight.
we
It
were
is
only this far from the end, and we stopped.
It looks to be a landing, like a stone platform.
What is this? This appears to be a landing. A stone platform of some kind.
Oh, how interesting.
And I tap at it to see if it's solid too.
Yeah, you get down to it, and it bulges out from the stairway a few feet, so it's a semicircle, and there's a huge door within it. And beside the door, there is a similar hole. And also, I did not mention that the key spat back out at you again after the last door opened. So you have it.
I'm gonna ask.
So there's a hole in the wall beside this big old door. Standing outside of an immense this huge, well, as you look at it, stone part metal door,
Ooh.
about
Can
20
I do
feet
a
high.
history check?
You may.
See if I recognize anything. Ooh, it was a natural 20.
Natural 20. It is stonework that is very. It's older than anything you've seen in even the most ancient of dwarven constructs. It predates dwarvish history. You can tell.
Is it just regular stone? It's not fey
Face.
stone?
Nope, that's not a thing. And if it were you, you don't know. It's
Yeah, I'm looking for a place to plug the hunk of stuff in.
it's just to the right of the door, just about right at your height. You insert, and then the door splits. And you are hit by a musty, ancient smell of rot,
Boris, that is
decay,
disgusting. I
and
can't just do this in here.
staleness.
Ugh.
Whew. Smells like Merwin after a night of beans.
I mean,
What's a
come on,
bean?
at least.
Fine, after a night of kebabs.
And
The exact
before
same
you,
joke
as
that I made.
kebabs, what you see is interesting because there is some bioluminescence in here. Upon the walls and ceiling, there are some sort of unidentifiable plant life that glows a little bit, and its glow falls about the place. You can get an eerily bluish yellow tint around here. And all right, here's first attempt at this. So you'll get the layout of the dungeon, a couple rooms at a time. You'll be able to see the layout, but not what's in the rooms. So currently, you see that on the very bottom portion where it looks like that door is. That's where you just entered. Bottom left. And then in front of you, there are those two circles. There's two pretty huge, massive pillars in front of you from floor to ceiling. The ceiling here, you look, is about 50 feet high.
You guys think the Ezid built this?
Oh yeah, I definitely believe that.
Yeah. Probably.
I don't believe it'd be anything else.
Ezid slaves.
They use their mystical Ezid powers to carve out the stone.
Maybe. I
If
want
we were
to.
going down here for a chunk of face steel, I bet there's a whole lot more that was used to make this.
Probably.
Astounding.
I suppose since we're looking for things, we should check out these rooms.
Yeah. Might as well.
So for a sense of scale, you just passed through that door. That first set of pillars is about 15 feet away from you. And as you approach them, next to the pillar, slumped up against the pillar to the left, there is a skeleton.
I want to loot it. No, I want to
is-
examine it first.
Yes, roll investigation.
We're turning into that party. I want to loot it!
I rolled a 1.
You don't have the slightest idea what the balls this is. And you're like, look, and you think it's probably an Ezid.
Dude, I found an Ezid!
I take my staff back from Morith and I poke the head. You know, I've heard about these dungeons where skeletons come alive and then you have to fight them, and I'm poking the head off the
It's a
body.
fairly large. It's a fairly large skull, and the whole
poking the head.
the whole thing kind of falls over to the side, and you see there's the lichen and roots climbing up under the body and up the pillar a little bit. And if you roll investigation real quick.
Me?
Yeah. As this thing falls over,
19.
it's a furbolg.
Oh, the sun.
I loot it.
You're a terrible person.
They're
The only,
gonna follow us down here. What?
The only thing you find is where
One
its
ancient kebab.
where its hand used to be. It fell over, but a few inches from it where its dead hand was, there lays on the ground a small vial with red liquid in it. It's glass.
Is it corked
Yes,
and sealed still?
sealed, corked, and sealed with wax.
I pick it up and I take it with me.
Take it with you.
Put it in
Unidentified red liquid. You
This
have gained
is like the
unidentified red
second
liquid.
bottle of.
Yeah, I still have what I labeled as Captain's Mystery Juice.
Find a
View is
person.
still feeling the heebie-jeebies about skeletons coming to life, so he is working at separating the head from the rest of the body, thinking that
You-
that will disarm the skeleton trap of it coming to life.
With a little bit of work, you pop. It's the skull comes free of the body.
So we just do that to every skeleton that we come across before it gets up and attacks us, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
So the rooms.
You brilliant adventurers have at last entered the Vault of Ages, and that is where we will end tonight's session.
Hey-o.